Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to label the stock data or Forex data or most of the time series data. How can you label them? So let's have a look for the stock prices prediction project. If you're an MSc student, you want to do the dissertation, or you are a PhD MPhil student, or you just want to do some machine learning and deep learning application to predict the stock prices, for prices or commodity prices or any equity prices. So let's have a look, search for your favorite stock. Let's go for the Microsoft. It could be anyone on Dow Finance, and we go to historical data. Yeah, and then choose the time period. You're gonna get like over last 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, and then you just apply and not 5 days. Maybe let's go for the 1 year and hit the download button. So you will have a CSV file on your system. Just open up in Microsoft Excel. For this illustration purpose, I'm using Microsoft Excel, but you can use Python or any of your other programming language. So we want to just learn basic concepts. How can we label the data? So these are your features: open, high, low, close, and your adjusted close, the adjusted close price at the end of the day. So maybe we can use one of these two, either close or adjusted close. So let's get rid of one. Basically, now these are your features, and you can calculate the technical indicators. You can watch my other videos. How can we do the calculation for the technical indicator using Python libraries and metadata. Usually, we don't use the date as an input feature. Now, the focus of today's talk is to learn how to label this data. Let's do a little bit of zoom. And let's put it as a label. So we can label this data for mainly two type of problems. One is a classification, another one is a regression. In the classification, you predicting the class, whether the price is going to go up or down. And in many of the research paper, you will see that they're predicting the stock price to be going to be close at higher price tomorrow, or it's going to close at a lower price tomorrow. The way they do, if you look at the dates, so it's chronological order. So starting from the beginning of the year, because we said we're gonna have a 1 year data, so you should download the maximum available data. So that's 26 last year and 27 last year. So 27, the close price on the 27th was higher than the close price of the previous day, which is 26. So that means we want to label here 1, right, for the classification problem. So we can write an Excel formula, or you can do the Python coding if you're doing Python for this labeling. So the thing is, we're saying if the price of this cell is higher than the price of this cell, then you put it 1, else you put it 0, and then it is closed. So you can see now we just double click that little dot on the lower right corner of the Excel cell, and it's gonna fill up all of your sheet. So you can double check a couple of other locations. This one, 272 is higher than this one. So you got 275 is higher than 272. So yeah, so you got 1 here. Just check one entry for the 0. You do 69.52, which is lower than 269.85. So yeah, so we now got it right. Now you know the machine learning or deep learning application. Yeah, you're gonna read them as your feature, and that's the output class that you want to predict whether the price is gonna be up or down. So that's the very basic type of problem that you can study for classes, but it's absolutely useless. I have seen many papers in our knowledge base. Paper get published even just to study this type of problem. But nowadays, whenever I'm reviewing any paper, I would be rejecting these papers, and I've rejected many papers in the past because it has absolutely no use. Just predicting whether the tomorrow's price is going to be up or down, it's absolutely no use. For example, let's say if the price here is just a 16 cent above 248, so you still get a 1. Or even if it's a 248.0001, so it still be 1. Yeah. So if you want to do a trade on this day, even if you get your prediction right, 100% right, you have no understanding or no confidence whether you're going to make some profit or you're going to lose the money, because there's a transaction cost, there's a slippage. As soon as you issue your order to the broker, the market could go up or down. You could interrupt the order flow, and you're going to pay some transaction costs. Definitely, we know that. And there's a spread involved if you're doing Forex price prediction. So just predicting this 0 or 1 is absolutely not usable. Is completely useless. Now, yes, what we can do, we can also do the even if you can do, okay, what's going to be the price after 5 days, up or down, still it's no use. It would be more useful if you want to do the classification. You could say, okay, what's going to be the price difference after 5 days or after 10 days or whatever number of days, and you set a threshold. That threshold could be 1% price increase or decrease. That threshold could be 5% price increase or decrease. That is useful. Right? So let's see how you're going to do that. Pretty easy. So it's rather than we're going to change this formula to what? We're going to change it to, rather than saying E3, let's start another bracket here, and we say E6 minus E2, the price difference of 5 days after, minus the current day divided by E2. Yeah, if this is higher than, let's say, 1%, 0.01, that is 1% or 2%, whatever threshold you want to set, else it's going to be 0. Now you see you have a different classification problem. Now your labels are different than what we had before, but it's now make much more sense than before. You have a window where you can trade, you can make a decision and you can do a trading. So you today, using some historical technical indicator or historical prices, now you have predicted the market, and now you know that if your prediction going to be right most of the time, you have a window of taking a decision, and you probably can make money. So instead of 1%, you can even go, I'm only going to go do the trading if the price goes up by 5%. That's okay. That's up to you. And you might have fewer one label now. You see now lots of zeros, but few of the one, but that's fine. You only want to trade when there's an opportunity to trade. Yeah. So another thing you can do is, rather than predicting 5 days ahead, you can predict 2 weeks ahead. Like instead of this E6, you can say, which is 5 days ahead, 1, 2, 3, 4, actually 4 days ahead. Let's go 10 days ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and this one is E12. So let's go E12 minus E2 divided by E2. If it's greater than 0.05, we have a label now 1. Otherwise is 0, right? Now still it's now we have some ones and some zeros. You can count them. Your data gonna be imbalanced. That's fine. And you can also do some window. You can also do, okay, if the price is greater than 0.5%, then it's 1. If the price is greater than 2%, then it's this. So the price, you could have a multiple labels here, and you could have a multiple condition. You can say, if the price goes up 5%, then it's label 2. If the price goes by 2%, then the label could be 1. And if the price goes down 2%, then it's -1. Then if the price goes below -5%, then it will be -2. And in between, the price is likely to stay between the between -2 to +2, then it could be 0. So now then you can have multiple labels for your problem. So that's a type of classification. Then you would have. Then you design your artificial intelligence or trading board using machine learning, deep learning, or any classical technical indicator-based mechanical trading. And if you are doing if you're writing a research paper, then I strongly encourage you show the usability of your algorithm, that it has some usability. You're likely to make some profit with the back testing. Otherwise, if I'm reviewing your paper, I'm likely to reject it. So the other type of problem that you could have was the regression, obviously. And one very useless regression that you can go for is just label with the next day's price. Yeah. So you just predicting what's going to be the price tomorrow. Not very helpful. Yeah. Again, not very helpful. It could be a little bit more helpful if you're predicting what's going to be price after 5 days. So that's your regression problem. Yeah, after 5 days or after 10 days. But then you will have a very kind of if you design your machine learning algorithm for this stock, then it can't be used for another stock, because Microsoft is priced between 200 plus minus, right? And you see 1 year ago it was 243, and now it's double the price, for almost 400, right? So 10 years ago it might worth few penny. 20 years ago it would be just a few penny. So your algorithm may not be very robust if you just label this way. There are many other ways rather than just saying, okay, you're labeling with the price after 5 days. You can say, I'm gonna be labeling the price based on my current reference, and your current reference is E2. Still regression problem, but a little bit more useful. Now basically we're saying after 5 days or whatever number of days, let's do 14. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. To make it just to 12. To 12. Yeah, 10. Yeah. So now we're basically saying the price after 10 days is exactly likely to increase 6%. Yeah. Rather than as we've seen in the classification, where you have a threshold. Now you're doing the regression and you're predicting exactly how much the price is going to go up after 10 days. Yeah. So in this case, the price going up 6%. Here in this row, the price will be go up after 10 days 11%. In this one, after 10 days, price went down 1%. And so on forth. Now you see all of these numbers are same. Even like 1 year before or 1 year after, you still have similar numbers. Yeah. So now if you train your algorithm this way, it's very much relatable. Very much relatable, going back and forth. The other thing, before you do a train test split, and I have another video specifically on the train test splitting and shaping your data. Very important, you get rid of all of these values at the end. Not now, but once you do load these things into the Python, get rid of these one, because you don't have a label for this data. Similarly, when you will be calculating the indicators, depending on the indicator, if the indicator using last 20 days data, then you will have NA in that column. So get rid of those data points, and then you do your train test split and do your machine learning algorithm. So that's how you label the stock data, the forex data, commodity data, also any financial markets data. So these are the major different type of. There are other details that you can look into research papers as well. Many other methods to label the data. Even you can label with a natural logarithm, the rate of returns, many other type of labeling. But these are the very basic things that we have discussed. All right, so we'll see you in our next video. Happy trading.